talked about the nagging aspect. And then I thought we talked about um, uh, people that are selfish don't bother to give negative feedback. Did we talk about that? I thought we talked about that. Maybe we did. I want to touch on that a little bit because um, sometimes people have a tendency to gloss over negative feedback or just not give it at all. And you need to have people around you that will sometimes tell you, well, will oftentimes tell you what you don't want to hear.
Yeah, that's true.
I think some of us are so used to people telling us what we want to hear that when somebody tells us what we don't want to hear, in negative feedback, or you don't have to say negative feedback, say constructive feedback, that we sometimes look at the person as enemy or they hating on us, but that ain't necessarily the case. I would dare say if someone sees me going down the wrong path, I would pray that somebody tell me something, or at least try to stop me, and not because you my friend or whoever you may be, just continue to allow me to go down there. So, but when people do that, when they don't bother to even, say whether it's right or whether it's wrong, that's a selfish act in itself. And in the long term, people like that or situations like that, it can come back and haunt you. So, I know, everybody be, I know everybody, we on this tip about, you want to be in your feelings and all that. You can be in your feelings, but be in your feelings about the right stuff. I think sometimes when people come to us with constructive criticism, we try to, let me just put this out here. When you find out how a person really is, and instead of you talking about that person, you talk to that person and you confront them about something that you know they did to you wrong. Then they turn around and act like you were in fault. You ever been in a situation like that? Okay, case in point. Will said something about me to somebody else. This is not true, but I'm just saying, making an example. He said something about me to somebody else that was false. That person, was kind enough not to be messy, but to say, hey, you and Will hanging out, but you might need to look at this situation because they said this. Okay, so you take this person as a credible person, and you go and you sit down and you talk to Will about the situation. 9 times out of 10, selfish people, instead of them hearing you out, and here's the thing about it: if you said it, you just said it, or if you did it, you just did it. But I found out folk a lie and say they did. People can have text messages, recordings, these days, with technology, you can't say what you ain't saying, what and so instead of Will listen to me with his constructive ears on and not getting in his feelings, because if you said it or if you did it, I have confronted you, then Will in turns that around, and while he's in my presence, he understands what I'm saying. But as soon as he leaves my presence, or sometimes as soon as a person leaves the room, they'll put a subliminal message on Facebook. All kind of stupidity. So, that's a sign. I'm just telling you, that's a sign of a selfish person. Because if I say something about anybody in here, somebody come back and tell you I said whatever. Now, sometimes I'm often, if it's a lie, I'm gonna say it's a lie. Now, if I said I said it, I'm just gonna say I said it. That's just me. I'm just crazy like that. I ain't gonna do it. If you low down, if I say you were low down, somebody else heard it, then you come back and say, well, somebody told me you said I was low down. Hey, I got family members. Me and my wife were just talking about this. They love to marry. And I take weddings seriously. People don't look at weddings like I look at weddings. When you attend a person's wedding, you are saying that you agree to what's going on. And I'm going to tell you folks, everything I don't agree with, so I don't go. Your presence alone sometimes, even if you just there just to be there, it says to other folk that you agree to what's going on. So, you know, first of all, I know that everybody that get married ain't getting married for the right reason. I mean, just all there to it. And so I said the relationship, the past two relationships wasn't gonna work. And it did. So you keep on marrying different people and the same thing keep on happening to you. Is it them? You gotta start looking at yourself. It's hard to look at yourself though. And so that's what people don't like to do. So what people do when you confront them about something that they did to you, they will turn the situation around and make it be about them. Now, let's talk about that because all y'all saying amen. So let's talk about that. How do we deal with individuals like that? I'm glad you asked. Number one, when you know, if I have sat down with Will and I have talked to Will about the situation and I have been pure, my heart has been pure, and Will says in front of me or on the phone or whenever we talking about it, oh, yeah, I understand. Then after that, I'm done. Now, Will choose to tell Sally, Sue, James, and all that and try to twist up and try to get people on their side. See, that's another sign of self. Because if you really love the person, like you say you love the person, and you have a relationship with the person, even if it's something that's confrontational, 9 times out of 10, you ought to be embarrassed that the person had to confront you on something. You ought to want to keep it to yourself. But then people have to come up with an objective of why they're going to treat you nasty. And so they got to get some other people on their side to make you seem like you wrong. When the Bible clearly says, mark them that cause dissension. Oh, y'all ain't read that in y'all Bible? Last time I checked, I read the Bible this morning. It's still in there. Didn't change. Last time I checked. And so the Bible clearly says, mark those that cause dissension. In other words, the Bible is simply saying, people that you know that cause dissension, you need to make sure that other folk know they cause dissension. Not that you calling them out, but you got to govern yourself accordingly. Now, here's the thing that people don't understand. This is, if there's a thin line between selfishness and non-selfishness. Now, we may have been cool for years, but once a person shows you that they gonna make everything about them, that doesn't mean that you gotta invite them back in your personal space.
Wow.
Okay, you saying that right? Okay. So you can forgive a person and see what people want us to do. They want us to forgive them, and then we still be cool like we once were. Not when you have hurt my feelings. Not when you have deceived me. Not when you have, talked about me like a dog. I keep on telling people the worst thing that relationships produce is that you can tell when a person stopped loving a person. Because the Bible is true. The Bible says love covers a multitude of sin. You can tell when the boo thing and the other boo thing, they done broke up because they start telling stuff. See, when you hurt, when you are hurt emotionally, you think in your mind that you want that person to hurt just as bad as you are hurt. So what you will do, the private and the secret things that you know, even in a relationship with a man, in a relationship with a woman, even your friends, you know some stuff on your friends that you may start telling because of how they hurt you. And so what you got to understand is you can mark a selfish person as it, because here's the thing. Sometimes you just got to own up to if you said it, you said it. If you did it, you did. And what you have to do is ask the person to allow you time to prove. Can you allow me the time to prove to you that, yes, that was a great mistake, but I'm going to try to do better. But instead of doing that, selfish people say, oh, I quit fooling with them. No, I don't fool with them no more. Why you don't fool with them no more? Y'all down like 4 or 5 times. Y'all checking in everywhere on Facebook. See, that's why I'm glad that I know my self-worth and I know what God has put in me. Because folk have had you crazy around here. Yeah. So now I ain't your pastor no more. Now I ain't anointed. You don't go over here no more, so ain't nobody over here right. But when you was over here, everybody was right.
You gotta say it.
You know what that is? Schizophrenic.
Yeah.
Need to lay on somebody's couch.
Yeah.
Simply because, okay, you want to play the victim because I put the red light on you. See, that's another thing. Selfish people don't tell the whole truth.
Right.
If you're going to tell the story, tell the whole story. Why I left? Well, you know, why you left? Why y'all broke up? Well, you know, he wasn't doing me right no way. Well, you knew he wasn't doing right, but you stayed there. Just tell the truth. You got caught. I mean, yeah, and I like it. I like what I was in. But that's a hard pill for folk to say. I stayed in something because I was comfortable.
Right.
Why you can't admit that to yourself, that you stay in things because you're comfortable? Now, the thing about it is, we want everybody to forgive us, but we don't want to forgive nobody. That's a double standard. So I mean, I ain't gonna do like talking. So a selfish person don't want to give constructive feedback, and then if they do, they give the feedback. They will. If you give it to them, the selfish person will turn around and play the victim and act like it's you and not them. So let's talk about that. Anybody been in some situation like that? Don't raise your hand. Not everybody at once. You ever been in a situation like that? I mean, here's the thing. I want to say this. I know, and you know, some of y'all, and you know, let me say this. I'm a pastor. God gives pastor after your own heart. I can say, I ain't gonna fool Will, I ain't gonna fool Willie, I ain't gonna fool, and before the night over, because I have a pastor's heart, God will touch my heart.
Yeah.
And I will have to. But y'all ain't pastors.
Right.
So when y'all say y'all ain't fooling with nobody, y'all mean it. Y'all mean that thing to your heart. And so here's the thing. I know, and I had to deal with a couple of pastors about this week. I know I'm in the fellowship. And in anything that you're in, I don't care what you're in, be it something Christian or just being in a social club, you're gonna always have people that's jealous of you. All right? And so I had a conversation with one of the pastors, and I said, you know, sometimes in the fellowship, I feel, number one, underappreciated and just tolerated. And then I said, sometimes I feel like the success, or what y'all call success, of the ministry is a curse. And he said, well, why do you feel that way? Because, see, I'm the type of person, see, you ain't going to have to wonder where I come from. I'm going to tell you where I come from. And I ain't scared of none of the bishops. Because they don't take care of me. I don't worship them. I'm just as important as they are. I'm just not a bishop, but I'm a person. So I'm important. So I know my self-worth. Now, to some people, that's intimidating because they have been taught to feel inferior. But I read the word. And the word says, I can do all things. So just because you don't like what I'm doing or how we progressing or how we do what I do, that ain't going to limit to how God going to bless me.
Right.
But if you listen to people that's selfish, you'll think something wrong with you. Oh, I'm just going to back up. I would sing, but I ain't going to sing because, they say, I want to sing everything. Then I sing, I shout, I might holler. You'll be questioning yourself. You got to understand that God has uniquely made you to be you, and you got to be the best you. So, how do we deal with these people? How do we deal with these people that are hold back because they don't want to hurt nobody's feelings? Hurt my feelings. If it's gonna help me, hurt mine. I mean, and when you're dealing with, and people, when I say this, people look crazy. You got to understand, in ministry, especially, come on, Ralph, come on, we need to talk. She done made the whole room move. so this is the thing that we all have to get as Christians, especially the leaders that work in the church. I want to bust your bubble down. I want to tell you, it don't matter how you feel. It doesn't. It don't matter how I feel. Some Sundays I come in, I be like, but y'all don't know it. I'm like, why am I doing this? In ministry, your feelings don't matter. Because what you're doing is about God. Now, your feelings matter on your job. It matters. Yeah, it does. But in ministry, it does not. Because what we're doing on our jobs, we do our job for a paycheck. So you got a right to be in your feelings when you know you're supposed to get a promotion and they ain't gave you no right. Oh, you got a right to be all in your feelings about that. Because you work hard. You got a right to be mad because you training folk and they making more money than you. They don't know the job. You know, you got a right to be in your feelings. But when it pertains to ministry, because we are doing this for God, you really don't have that right. You gotta take your feelings off your shoulder. I knew I put in my notes. I'm gonna get quiet. All right. So let's talk about it, because one thing that the church has to get, and we got to get this very clearly, and we got to get this very plainly. What happens, especially with churches and with pastors, is eventually the attitude of the pastor, it will spill over to the folk. You ever been to churches and everybody in the church arrogant? Well, look at the leader. Somebody asked me that. I got an email from Overseer Woods. I don't, and this is just me. I'm a personal person. I don't care how big the ministry get. I don't care how many churches, whatever position I have. I don't want folk to have to go through 2 or 3 folk to get to me. So the administration, see, this is what I don't understand. We want to be mega in our mind. What you need a first assistant and you ain't got but 20 members. That don't make no sense to me. I got mad when I was my first church. We had less than 100 members. It wasn't but 10 children in the choir, and 5 of them stayed in the same house. And so the minister of music, want to be big, had my wife calling folk for choir rehearsal. And I said, it ain't like it's 20 people in the choir. Why can't he call the folk? Well, he just want me, I'm just helping him out. And my wife got upset because she didn't know that 3 or 4 of the children stayed in the same house. They had the different last name. She going on the list calling folk. She picks up the phone and she say, oh, can I speak to so-and-so? And they were like, Miss Karen, you just called me. You see how folk want to be big when Lil got them? You can't be big. And so the young lady, the administrator for our district, Officer Woods, she said, well, she emailed me and said, is there somebody, I don't know if I need to contact you directly. I said, no, you got this is my email address. Email me whatever the information you need. I like that. And then she emailed back and said, you know what, pastors you need to teach a class on something. Because here's the thing. You can think in your mind that you all that, but at the end of the day, you got to go to bed with the real you. So you can puff and prime me up all you want to, but at the end of the day, I know I'm just Jeff. That's why I don't have a problem with y'all just calling me Jeff. I'm not, because I am Jeff. I am not. And you know, some of y'all want to call me doctor. I ain't the doctor. I just happen to have the degree, but that ain't really who I am. I'm just Jeff. And so I don't ever want it to be, I don't want to get so important that I need a first assistant. Why I need a first assistant? To do what? To answer email, because the first assistant ain't gonna do nothing. If Mika my first assistant, she ain't gonna do nothing before the email to me. Why the person just can't email me directly? Want to be big. It doesn't make sense. All right? Okay. Any comments on that? Any comments on that?
Well, they gotta have the first assistant if they call it.
Yeah. I mean, somebody asked me from the fellowship, do you have a designated armor bearer? No, I do not. Well, you need one. I said, no, I don't. Well, I mean, you don't understand. People, let me tell you something. I want y'all to look up the definition to introvert. to a person that has introvert. That's a psychological term. It may have my picture line. Because I love being by myself. You know why? I'm gonna tell you why I'm an introvert. Because my mama was a psychologist and I didn't even know it. We ain't have nothing, and she taught me how to play by myself and how to do things by myself, and so that's just in me. And so, the few times I think I let David go somewhere with me one time and ride with me, and people always ask me, Pastor, you going out of town? You need somebody to ride with? I need nobody. Because here's the thing: when I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. When I want to stop to eat, I want to stop to eat. I ain't got time to be waiting on you talking about you got to do to go to the bathroom. I just like going by myself. I just realized really how bad of an introvert I am when I went to this graduation this last week. I love carrying them boys. I do. But it was just so much that cause see, when I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. They got to pack this, then they forgot this, somebody forgot their shoe, did you get your belt, did you get this, do you have a cloak? I'm like,
Okay.
and see, I can just throw, see, in an introvert mind, this is the introvert mind, when you pack necessities. Underwear and t-shirts, and whatever you gonna wear. And if you forgot something in an introvert mind, you can always go to the store. You see what I'm saying? So if you forgot something, it ain't the end of the world. Walmart is nationwide. So you can always run by them. So I was like, you know what? I gotta do better. This I really need to talk to somebody about how introverted I am. I mean, this is terrible. I mean, I was like, I came home, I went to the barbershop, I think, and I was getting ready to go, and I had text Karen, and I said, I'm on my way. And so she thought I was still at the barbershop. And when I got home, she was laying down. And I said, what you doing? I thought you said we were ready to go. You were like, hey, I thought you ain't say you was on your way. On your way means you finishing up your haircut, but with my shave. So I was like, what y'all doing? I mean, I'm ready to go. When I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. I'm just like that. When I'm ready to go, I don't want to wait on you. Hey, that's why I don't like folks ride with me, because I may leave, see this thing. When I go to a service, I may leave in the middle of the service. When I get tired, I just get tired. I mean, when I done had enough, I just get up and leave. I'll let y'all. Y'all know that. Y'all witnessed that firsthand at Cornerstone. I'm talking about I can't take foolish. I can't take it. So after that had happened, everybody knew, hey, y'all all right? I got up, talked to Bishop. Went out and one of my members said, you ain't even go out the side though. You went down the aisle. That was the reason. Y'all so bro. All right. So that,
we did that in New Orleans too.
Huh?
We did that in New Orleans.
Yeah, I did that. Got too long. And we have this time. We gonna do it again. I mean, we're gonna do it again. All right. I mean, we're gonna be all night. All right. So, anybody got in the comments on that? I'm sorry. Oh, now this gonna mess y'all up, because the next thing it says, okay, so some people, they don't want to bother, they don't want to ring folk feathers, and then if they do ring folk feathers, they want to turn it back like you did something. But this is an aspect of a selfish person. A selfish person is a control freak. It's a control freak. If you want to do it right, you do it yourself.
That's me.
I'm glad people can own up to that. Because if you tell the truth, we all have, we all have some controlling aspect to what we do.
That's true.
Just own up to it.
That's true.
Just say that's me. Some of y'all say that. Some of y'all don't want to say that, but I do. He says this. The strange thing about control freaks is that they themselves believe that they are benevolently keeping an eye out and being genuinely helpful and concerned. But the reality is that their behavior is selfish to the point of killing initiative and discouraging creativity and even delegating tasks. Now, I want to say this. As a pastor, one thing that gets me, and there is a control freak aspect to pastor. The thing that I dislike about pastors, if I tell Willie, okay, let's do A, and then we meet again, and I ask Willie about A, and he says, well, I was waiting. Well, what you waiting? And I told you what to do, but it still didn't get done. So, am I being a control freak because I want it done? See, that's why it's hard for me to trust people with tasks. Because I have been disappointed so many times. Because if you give me something to do, you say, I need you to do A, B, and C, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get out the way. But some people are I don't know. They like children. You got to say it 2 or 3 times. And then, they have a spirit of get tongue tied right now. So they have a spirit of, so sometimes people control freak. Now, I want to say this. There is a positive side of being a control freak, and then there's a negative side of being a control freak. I'm a control freak about a whole lot of stuff. Number one, I don't like anybody to fix my plate. And I don't like my food touching. The reason I don't like anybody to fix my plate is because I grew up in Johnny Mae Washington Thompson's house. And I had to eat what she put on my plate. I don't care if it was a bulldozer portion. I had to eat everything on my plate. So in my mind, whenever somebody say, do you want me to fix your plate? I immediately say no. Because in the household that I grew up in, it was disrespectful not to eat all your food. And so I know how much I'm gonna eat, so I like to fix my own plate. I know what I'm not gonna, what I won't eat, stuff I don't eat, I don't want it on my plate. Juice to stuff, I don't want it running on other stuff. So I fix my plate to make sure, and that's a control issue. I fix my plate to make sure that all the juice run out of whatever, and then I put it on plate dry. Because I don't want to touch it. Now, is that a bad thing?
Yes.
No, it's not. No, it's not. That's a good thing for my wife. Because she ain't got to worry about it. That's just me. I don't want my food touching, and I'm going to fix my own plate. There are some men that they ain't finna move until somebody fixes their plate. Ooh, some of y'all, I got some witnesses over here. Amen, come over here. But you got him like that.
Yeah.
Holy Ghost. You got him like that. Leon like that? Okay. So he says control freaks, this is the positive side of being a control freak. Control freaks are usually perfectionists. Control freaks are perfectionists. Do y'all believe it? Do y'all?
Yeah.
I believe it. I think at the graduation, in my graduation, we had to line up and all that kind of stuff, but I had got claustrophobic. I already knew that they were gonna line us up by degree programs and by alphabetical order, and so, these people, they got their roll. Well, let me back up. We got there. Kara saw all the people with their rolls on. Now it's in Georgia. Georgia heat is hot. It's 90-some degrees. Kara said, they put their rolls on. I said, okay. You ain't gonna put your roll? When I get inside, I'm put it on. So I put it on, and I had already geared myself up that I had to take pictures. So I just went ahead on the grin and smiled and went on through that. I don't like that, but I bent a little bit. I'm saying all that to say this. There were some people, now your name start with a T. Why is you saying, did you hear my name yet, sir? Ma'am, the lady had already said they're going by alphabetical order. I said, what's your last name? Oh, my last name is Thomas. Oh, you back here with me. Just chill out. They ain't got to, just sit down. I mean, they got 90 some other people to call before they call. But but you gotta own up to who you are. I think that's some of our problem, that we don't want to own up to who we really are, who our personalities are. If you're a perfectionist, you're just a perfectionist. If you're a procrastinator, you're just a procrastinator. Know that. If you're a procrastinator, some people, I'm a procrastinator when it comes to, when it comes to schoolwork. Now, I don't know why, but it's like the day before I gotta get a paper due, I can write so good, thoughts clear. But if I try to do it 2-3 weeks before, I'll be like, I can't write this. I don't know. But it's like between the hours of 1, I've been wondering, I stayed up all night, Carol, like, you all right? I had like 4 papers to write. I'm like, all right, y'all just gonna go to bed. And it just came. So I know that. So you just gotta know what you know about yourself. All right? Any other comments on that about the control freak? We know we got some in here. Robert, you ain't no control freak, though. Most women are control freaks. Most women are control freaks when it comes to housework. You know, men, we can't never cling to y'all specification. It ain't never, I ain't even do it. All right, anybody got a comment on that?
I said, you can,
Well, I'll say this. I may can and I won't, but if it's not to your specifications, I will pay someone to do it. Nah! Okay. No, then somebody said that's even better. Y'all can care for some y'all time. Now you just ain't gonna clean no bathroom, and I say I'm not. I just ain't. That's just one thing that I ain't gonna do. All right, so we got control freaks. Then we got sixth thing is we talked a little bit about this earlier. Selfish people are very manipulative. That's the other side of being a control freak. They are so fearful of losing their position of authority that they employ some nasty tactics. A classic example is when they will not consider a compromise. That means that in their mind that they lost power. They use these manipulative skills to get their boss on their side. They use these tactics such as being perfectly charming while trying to find out information about colleagues and then accuse others of discrediting them. He says there are many other examples of selfish acts. So we know some people like that that's manipulative. Really?
But can't you also be selfish because say that you were given a task before and you put the responsibility, you shared the responsibility, and it didn't turn out right. So when it came down, it came back on you instead of the individual that you told to handle the task. So when you learn from that to, that the client at the university, they have a standard. And if you don't meet that standard with them, they're not gonna, for my job, they're not looking at the supervisor, they're looking at me.
Right.
Because they know, I know how it's supposed to go. So when something go wrong, they don't go to them. They automatically say, okay, call me in the office and say, okay, well, tell me what happened. I have to have answers. So to keep me from going there, I say, look, okay, we have a meeting. This is the way they want it. This is the way it has to go. Plain and simple. There is no your idea, this idea. No, they don't want your idea. They want it the way they want it.
Right.
And that's just it. So you're a control freak in a good or in a good way when it pertains to your job. But when you're at home, that's something totally different because you know what, it's harder to clean somebody else's mess up than to clean your own. So you just prefer to go ahead on and do it. Cause it's double work cleaning somebody else's mess.
Right. Okay. Anybody else? Nobody else? I'll use myself as an example. Okay, y'all know I'm a musician. We got musicians at the church. Now, I had to come to grips with, I'm Jeff. Rhonda and Dee Dee can't play like me. And just because they don't play it like me, don't mean it's not right. Y'all missed it. We can do the same thing, but we all doing different. Now, we gonna all play in the same key, and we all gonna play it differently. But as long as we get the root of it right, I may play some extra stuff that they don't play. They may play some stuff that I don't play. But you have to come to grips with no person will ever do it like you. And when you come to that conclusion, you will work better with people. Now you know you do it like you do it, and can't nobody do it like you. But then there is also an alternative. You know you can cook a whole chicken in the microwave. Did you know that? With what's that stuff that came out some years ago? Pampered Chef. It's some kind of thing they got years ago. They came out with, but you can actually cook a whole chicken in the microwave on 30 minutes. In this, it's good. I had it. I mean, it wasn't rubbery. It was just like it had been in the store. Now, that's foreign to us. But at the end of the day, we want the chicken done. We don't care how it's cooked. We want it done. Okay, what's the difference in you going to KFC, Popeyes, Bojangles? It's chicken, ain't it? Yeah, the price. But now, these days, people understand. McDonald's was the first one that started with the dollar menu. Then everybody else followed. KFC saw a downturn because Church's chicken always been cheap.
Yes.
All right? That's what we did. And so now KFC saying, okay, now you got to find out. We got to find out about it. With a drink. And a cookie. Somebody been there and got one. Okay? But in some instances, watch this. That advertisement is being manipulative. In a good way. It's getting you in the door because it ain't for $5 and whatever different, and you get a drink. I passed by Popeyes last Tuesday. They had customer appreciation week. They had them 8 pieces for $4.99. I thought I was gonna have to call the law. Leave some of y'all. There was so many folks. I said, yeah, leave. So they were being, once again, manipulative. Sometimes it's good to be manipulative. We all manipulate our children to do what we want them to do. Some of y'all manipulate men. Some of y'all manipulate women. Oh, y'all didn't see y'all. Oh, it's still manipulation. It's good. It can be bad. All right? Okay, y'all don't want to talk on that. Y'all don't want to talk on that. All right. Okay, the next thing is selfish people think they're the only people on the planet. Let's deal with this. How many times have we fumed against people blocking doorways, smoking where it's prohibited, forbidden, talking loud on the phone, acting selfish when they driving? These acts of selfishness happen all the time and are obviously manifestations of people thinking that they are the only people on the planet. There are other more subtle examples that we may be unaware of, such as what about people who may be engrossed in their phone and block the aisle on the airplane or while you're shopping on the train. Others get impatient when they don't get an immediate answer to their email. Sometimes, folk, you got an iPhone, you got your red receipt on. Folk get hot with you when they see you done read something. They be like, oh, you acting nasty. Just turn it off. But that's a selfish act. These acts of selfishness make life more difficult for everyone else. So there are some people that act like they're the only people on the planet. Why do people act like that? I mean, I can go on this all night, really. Why do we act like we the only people on the planet? Everything can't be about you. It can't. It cannot. And I think sometimes people forget that. Y'all want to say more about that?
What do you mean about when you say act like you don't like?
You can't act like the world revolves around you.
Right.
There are some people that, like, if you upset, you shouldn't want everybody else to be mad. Why you can't be upset by yourself? Why you got to call everybody and tell 5 people that this person that made you mad? Why you got to do that? Why you just can't be mad on your own?
Yes. Because it's true what they say, misery loves company.
It does.
You gotta have somebody to be able to get mad with you.
Yeah, but I think that's being selfish, especially if Amber having a good day, then she got to listen to your mess. Then I don't care what you say, people, you say things that people tell you don't affect you. But it does. You know what I'm saying? I mean, people dealing with life issues. I mean, some real stuff. Then they got to hear you complain about stuff that don't even matter. You mad because somebody didn't speak to you. You mad because somebody on your job stepped on your foot. You mad because folk just being folk. Why? That's selfish. You ain't the only person on the planet. How about calling somebody sometime and asking them, well, you know what? I ain't got, it's been a good day. What's going on with you? How many times do we do that? Call somebody and say, Robert, you know what? What's going on? Tell me what. I just want to listen. What's going on with you? If you always got to be the person complaining, and you got to always be the person calling 5,000 different folk to tell them what's going on, you selfish. I put in my notes that I wasn't going to say nothing right there. It makes sense. It does make sense. I mean, my thing is this. People that have road rage, you selfish. Because the people can't hear nothing. I'm talking about you going off. One time, let's go head off. I mean, I'm trying to get off. Oh, you better get off. Don't come out. You acting like you're the only one on the road. Here's the thing. People talk loud on the phone. You hear this all the time. I know you got coworkers that talk loud on the phone. But then, do you know that if I'm in a conversation with Sister Park and Sheila Church and Brittany, and I pull out, and they talking, and we all talking about something, and I pull out my cell phone, do you know that's being selfish? Y'all saying that, but we do it all the time. I'm listening. Why we can't just give people our undivided attention? I hate to talk to folk on the phone, and we got Bluetooth, and I'm talking to them, we having a conversation, we in a good conversation. Did you just see what so-and-so put on Facebook? I'm talking to you. I ain't on no Facebook. No, I ain't seen it. Y'all laughing because y'all that social media to mess us up. And I mean, and just like me and Sheila say sometimes we talk, sometimes I think it's a curse and a blessing at the same time. Because you get so mad that you got to pop off on Facebook. You get that mad that you just got to let everybody know. Why? What that gonna do? See how many likes I can get. See how many likes you want. So you post for likes. That's crazy. You see how crazy that sound? Then you got some folks, I got some folks, I know some folks do this. There are some folks that when they put stuff up, not only are they counting the likes, but then they go back through the likes and highlight it and see who liked it and who didn't like it. Huh? Oh, y'all help us know how to do it. Y'all know, just go on there and hit the button and scroll up, you'll see who like it. Yeah. So that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. So you can't act like you're the only person on this earth. That's why I have issues with men, especially men, that have families that do everything for themselves before they do it for their family. Because if you're a man, you're going to look out for your family before you look out for yourself. I hate to see a man just GQ down. I want to see what his children look like. I want my wife and my children to be sharp. Listen, because I like money. I'd rather have money in my pocket. I may look toe up, but I got some money. Bitch, I ain't broke. See, that ain't that right, Will? I'm going to look toe up. I mean, I don't care. I mean, sometimes Carol like, you gonna wear that? Yes, I am. Well, that's wrinkle. Okay, well, these hundreds in my pocket wrinkle too. I'm talking about I ain't into that. I just ain't. Cause when you done grew up like that, I'm telling you, I'm sitting down, I'm telling y'all about one day. When you grew up like I done grew up, when you get a little piece of change, you trying to hold on to it. I don't rejoice in shopping. I'm crying. I promise the Lord that, I know y'all ladies like retail therapy, but I don't. When I get my check, I can rejoice. And when I look at my account, I can rejoice. All right? I ain't saying I don't know million, but I'm tight. But anyway, you can't never act like you're the only person on the planet. Don't ever act like that. Always be considerate of other people. Talking on the phone, talking to people. I see some of y'all, I see everything. I'm preaching. I'm like, I know they ain't in the scripture like that. Then I got my iPad, and y'all friends with me on Facebook. I'm like, I'm up here preaching and I'm getting notifications. They like us. What is y'all doing? But anyway, all right. So don't act like you're the only person on that. All right. I think that was the last, no, two more. Oh. Selfish people never clean up their mess. Because they want somebody else to do it for them. Some of y'all men don't raise your head. Because, we do that. We do that. Y'all want to say something about that? They'll say, well, I forgot to do that. I forgot. Can you get that for me? No, you didn't. You just being selfish. The last thing, well, two more things. The next thing is, number 9, selfish people hate teamwork. Selfish people are unwilling to share. They're unwilling to give. They're unwilling to brainstorm. They want to work alone because they are competitive. They're competitive. An example is a colleague keeps a lot of information to herself because she was secretive and selfish. She never got the promotion that she desired, and because she didn't work with the team. You know the people like that? They don't like teamwork. Now I love doing projects, but I like when folk pull their weight.
Yeah, that's that.
I've been on projects and folk be like, oh, we know you gonna do it. So I'm just gonna write everything up. No, you do your part. Folk will get you. But selfish people hate teamwork. They like, man, whatever. I just do it on my own. Okay, all right. The last thing he says, Selfish people rarely collaborate. And he says one thing, it's all about their ego. They know what they want. They always want to be in the forefront to make sure that they get it. And he says, I'm thankful for all those difficult people in my life that have shown me exactly who I don't want to be. So think about that. You've had some difficult people in your life, and so you should tell yourself how you don't want to be like those people. One reason why I don't have no armor bearer and all that kind of stuff, because I see that stuff and it's just sickening. I just ain't finna open no door and pour no water for no man. I just ain't doing it. I ain't finna do that, and I don't do that for Carol. I ain't finna do that. I ain't gonna do it. I mean, that's just overkill. I mean, some of this stuff just ridiculous. I know what's in my iPad. I put my own stuff in. I don't need nobody to lay it up there. No, I don't need all that. I don't need all that. Because there might come a day that I might need that. Now, when I need that, that's different. And then when I need that, it's time for me to retire. Because I don't want to be helped up to no pool. Got to sit me down. I don't want all that. So, we need to think about, how we interact with people. Are our actions being seen as selfish? Because if you have a friend and all you do is pour out what you got to say and you don't never just listen. And then some people just don't, because they have been so selfish all their life, they just never think about it. And that's what I want to teach on this, because we really need to think about how we interact with people. You may think that people see you one way, and the way that they see you is totally different from what you want to be perceived. And so you got to make a conscious effort to say to yourself, am I the selfish person in the relationship? Be it friendship, be it family, whatever it is. Are you the selfish person in the relationship? There are some times that you do need to be selfish. All selfishness is not bad. There are some times that you need to take some time for yourself, by yourself, do something for you. I just told Carol the other day, I hadn't bought suits in a while. I'm going to buy me some suits for me. You know what she said? No. You know what she said? Oh, I need suits. See, that's selfish. Why you want to let me be great by myself? I knew it was an ulterior motive why she got me all these shirts. She got me all these shirts with Oasis. I got about 10 shirts like this. And she don't want to make me. She said, I need Jose Banks had a good say, yeah, I need something. That wasn't the answer I was expecting to get. So now guess what? Because I am a male and I put my family before me, now I'm going to be further back on the back burner. Because I'm going to have to get her some first. Then I'm going to have to save up again. But the next time I got to understand, don't open my mouth. Just come home with it. Look at why you look like. Okay, I'm done. Any questions on selfishness and things? Yes.
On something you said
Yes.
earlier about how when you decide not to fool with people.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's necessarily selfish in a bad way, because there comes a time, like if you're dealing with people who constantly take from you, people who constantly, hurt you or whatever, if you continue to go back to that, that's like that's a lack of self-love to me.
Yeah, well,
you have to think enough of yourself to say, I'm not going to continue to be beat down by the same people over and over.
When I said that, I was talking about the person that is the type. The person that's, always say it's not them, it's you. Yeah, you gotta have a let them go spirit. I think I'm the world's worst on letting them go. I mean, it don't matter with me one way or the other, because I'm just at that point in my life. Family, foe, whoever you are.
Amen.
You ain't got to talk to me. You ain't got down my nose. I'm cool with it. Somebody asked me about one of my family today. I said, I don't know. Well, that's so. I said, well, it is, but I just don't know. I'm at the point of my life. My phone. You get tired. You have to come to a point in your life. If you the person always initiate,
Right.
you gotta really take advantage of what the relationship is.
Come on.
If you always the one and look at your phone and it's outgoing and it ain't never no income, then you really need to evaluate what kind of friend this is. Yeah, I ain't saying you gotta be, as my black pastor used to say, I ain't saying every time I throw the dishwater out my back door is in your face. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that you ought to have people that it's a two-way street. When you need them, they there for you. When they need you, you there for them. Not one way. There's a lot of people, have a whole lot of people in their lives that's selfish, that is all about them. Even things, any little situation, they'll turn it around and be about them. You could be talking about a problem, then they say, yeah, I remember in '85. That same thing happened to me. Well, we ain't talking about you. Why you can't let me be great? Why I can't be great? Why you ain't gonna let me be great? Alright, I'm done. Alright, y'all got any observation more? I'm done with that. Any other questions?